I'm under the understanding probably that you have no idea what we are here for. Thank you.
I know what Juggernauts is.
So, my name is Robert Brannon, 31139 Eastwind Drive, Fraser, Michigan. But we also own 2 spots across the street from City Hall at 32995 Garfield, which will now be our permanent home and location. Our location in Roseville was broken into and damaged pretty severely. So we've secured both buildings, and we'll be opening a barber shop, giving student discounts to all students in Fraser. And then we'll be utilizing the other building for our Kids Foundation with our after-school tutoring program with 7 of our retired teachers, some from Fraser and some from the Macomb Intermediate School District, and 1 from Grosse Pointe. So we're excited. We are here, my partner, introduce yourself.
I can't sit when I introduce myself.
Okay, perfect. It's fine.
That's a carpenter.
Yes. So my name is Mylinda Laws. I am the secretary for the youth sports program that we're presenting tonight to you. And as Pastor Bob told you, I am a law enforcement officer. February will be 20 years. My primary focus currently is I am a detective that investigates crimes against children, and I work with kids all day long. So to see the negatives in the kids and being able to put positives back into place is what this program is about. And hopefully you guys can see that as well.
Awesome. Pause. Before we do anything, will you make a motion to add the,
So I made the motion that we had 9C Juggernauts Kids Foundation, but I don't think it was ever seconded.
yeah, I was like, wait a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Hunt to add the other business, 9C, the Juggernauts Foundation, thank you, to 9C. Seconded by Commissioner Walker, made by Commissioner Hunt, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure that's there on the record, so.
So starting off, we apologize. We were under the understanding that you already had a packet because it was sent by email, so we were under the understanding that you would have them. We should have brought additional with you. I did bring one. I'm going to leave it with you. If you want additional copies, I can send it to you by email. I know most of you personally. Or we can get you hard copies here at City Hall, and they can be dispersed with your next packet. So what we are doing is we are working, hopefully, with the City of Fraser, working hand in hand, and we are doing a service for you. And that service is we will be handling all of the scheduling, licensing, criminal background check. We are working with each and every one of our coaches to make sure that it is an up-and-up program. And what was presented to your Parks and Rec director is we would like to start a Fraser Wildcat football program, which would house multiple teams here competing at Stephens Park. We also want a community basketball program, so we are currently working with the superintendent of Fraser Public Schools, Dr. Carrie Wozniak. We have a meeting again with her next week. But we would like every single elementary to have its own basketball team, or possibly 2, because some of our elementaries are so large that they house almost near 600 students. And we have 6 elementaries, so we're talking 2 teams per school, so 12 teams of basketball from 3rd grade to 6th grade. Our LLC and our insurance is all in order. It's been supplied to the school. It's also been supplied to you. The request from the Parks and Rec director was a $2 million policy. Our policy is $3 million because it is a contact sport, so it is a lot larger than what was originally asked of the city. So what we would need from you is a partnership. We don't want to say, oh, we're the Fraser Wildcats. We want to be a spinoff of your Parks and Rec. We don't want any money from you. We have some good backers who are backing this program. You will have Detroit Lions who will be present on the field at Stephens Park. We have worked with the Pistons organization in the past. The owner of the organization owns his own moving company, and he moves these people all over the country. When they move to play for another team, he moves them from one mansion to another mansion, and they are willing to pitch in and help us. What we need from you is the space. We don't have a football field anywhere else in the city unless we want to rent it from Fraser High School, which is very, very costly. It's about
Don't you have to rent out the gyms also, right?
We're working with the superintendent on that right now because
Okay.
there is a
Yeah, because I remember I talked to,
gyms. So
yeah.
we're We're working with a couple other organizations in the business district if we can put some gyms in some of these empty business properties currently that we have in the business area. It's a possibility that we could get something like that, a Wildcat basketball stadium.
Can you move
So we're working on that.
the microphone?
So what we need from you is we need practice times on the field at Steffens Park. We need a little bit of help from DPW in terms of maintenance, which we will be taking care of. There's some stuff that really needs to be done out there. It's pretty rough. And then eventually, we would like to talk to the city about putting an AstroTurf field at the far end of Steffens Park, and that would be a permanent park that the city could rent out to other organizations for a nice fee. A great example is one high school locally charges $2,500. Another school locally charges almost $4,000 to rent that stadium out. And the third one that is our other competitor is charging $5,000 to rent their stadium. We want to invest this money in kids. I don't need money going any deeper into anybody else's pocket except in children in this city. And that is ultimately what we're out for. We will make sure that we do everything that we have to do on our end to make sure that everything is up to par. Always 2 coaches at a time. We follow the NOAA rule that there has to go 2 by 2. And we would report directly to the Parks and Rec Director or the Parks and Rec Commission as to what's going on. You would know our number of kids that are registered. Our money that comes back in isn't going to be filtered away. It can be used in other areas of park programs, such as a nice walking path or a splash pad or something good that you would want to see put in. But if we end up getting this turf field in, we charge currently, which is a requirement by our 2 football organizations, we have to charge $5 a head for people to get in to watch the game. So if you ultimately end up doing this, you could be making some serious money. There's almost $10,000 at the one event that comes in every single time there's a game.
And that's just at the gate?
That's just at the gate. That doesn't include concessions. So that's the other half of the deal is we would need an area to be able to sell concessions, and there is an empty concession stand out there. So we would get a ServSafe license, which 4 of us on the board actually already have. We're certified so that we can get in there and get cleaning and get what needs to be done. Do you want to show them some samples of those jerseys? I'm going to give you guys some of these just so you can see. I do have corporate bylaws that have been sent to the state of Michigan and approved. And I have everything from the state. I have limited liability insurance. I'm going to leave this all with her so that you guys get a copy, and I will send it by email too, just to make sure that it gets to everyone.
So all your guys' coaches are certified and
Every
Do you
single
have
coach
enough
that
coaches?
comes to us is going to have a criminal background check. It's going to be checked through Michigan State Police and also through the Department of Human Services, which a lot of people don't do. They just do a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We'll be double dipping on that because we want to make sure that there's no child abuse case that's either been opened or closed. And then we also want to check with the state of Michigan in regards to anything that's major criminal.
So Robert, I have a question for you. How long have you been working with this organization? I know they've been out there for a while. How long have you been?
I've been in this organization now for 2 years. I've been a huge part of their backpack program where they give away literally 200 to 500 backpacks. I don't even remember the total this year. It was a lot. But literally, they meet on the field. So that would be another event that would happen in the city of Fraser is we would give 200 to 500 backpacks free. And when I say backpacks, they were covered with everything: pencils, notebooks, crayons, markers, scissors. Anything that a kid needed was in that backpack, and we gave away 500 of those. So we would do that at Steffens Park.
So you're looking for, you guys would build, you're looking for the piece of property to build this on. You're not looking for this.
We're not looking for the piece of property. We want to simply practice on that field at no charge. We want to put a field in for you. We want to make sure that our teams are going to be able to play on that field, but then you would also have the ability, because it's your property, it's not ours, you would have the ability to rent that out to other people. There are private schools who currently rent from other districts that if they could save some money, you could make some money to let kids play for an hour soccer game.
So isn't the city still contract with Breaking Barriers? They still under contract for the year. How does that work out?
You're talking about advancing.
Vance and McComb, yes.
So we do have a contract with them. I don't know what timeframes or anything. They've been using any of the fields.
Yes, they've been playing out there Sundays, flag football. So I don't know how
Which
that
wouldn't
works
affect,
out.
because if you know anything about that property, it houses 4 full soccer fields, so
Yeah.
400 100-acre lands.
Okay.
I used to stripe and water that field for Fraser soccer for almost 20 years.
I guess that would be kind of one of my questions. So, would you be able to play soccer on this astroturf?
You would definitely be able to
Okay,
play
so it's not
soccer
like
on
you're
that. You could
replacing-
rent that out for multiple things.
You're not like replacing soccer fields with this?
We're just taking out your dirty, bumpy grass, and we're gonna put some real nice equipment, some ground surfing, some rocks, some underlayer foam, and then they'll go in with the bedding, and then put the professional turf down. But that's the
So
ultimate.
The location would be where the soccer field
The
is.
farthest end of that park, just to keep the rest of your park open, because you need to really start to think about what you're gonna do with that park, such as a music shelter and a water place. You're losing residents to the other communities because you're doing nothing with this large piece of land that is.
100%.
Agreed.
100%.
So if we're back there, that keeps all activities. If you go into the inner city of Chicago or Kansas City, you'll see a lot of parks like Steffens where they have a playground, then there's a soccer field, then there's an area for food trucks to come. You guys, you have such a great opportunity.
So one of the other things, while showing you the uniforms, is we want it to be all one flat price. When a kid comes in to play football or basketball, the elementary school basketball will be a little different because the costs are gonna be a lot lower. They're gonna have individualized school uniforms. But if you're playing on a higher level basketball team or you're playing on the football team, when you register, you get everything. It's not, you have to go out and then buy your pads, you have to buy your cleats. So it's all-in-one pricing to help keep everything as cost-efficient as possible to pass it on, so as many kids as possible can play. The higher-end basketball jerseys are the only ones, we're not able to do this with the football, where you can have your home
And an
jersey
away game, so they
and
never
your
will
away
forget a jersey.
jerseys by simply turning it inside out. And the shorts are reversible as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So we've got home and away covered in one uniform.
My kids play youth football. I have never seen another team out there that has a different uniform for home and away in youth football. We want to make sure these kids can stand out and they're proud of who they are. They have something to be very proud of, that they're out there, they're working. So with our uniforms, there will be two different uniforms. They will have their home uniform, they will have their away uniform, and they will have their names on the back of their uniforms. They will keep these at the end of the season.
They will be walking all around with these jerseys.
So are you looking
Those are
to
beautiful.
also play against Roseville Junior Sports? Are you, I mean, is that where you're going to get your other teams that you're going to play against besides?
Depending on the league that we go in, we're at a meeting right now tonight with,
So it's the,
USFL?
no, we're with the Thumb Coast League. So it's teams that play further up. We would be the lowest, or the most southern city that they've even thought about allowing to enter into their program. For us to play against Roseville Junior Sports, we have to be in the same organization. The organization that they're in is the Oakland and Macomb County Youth Football Association. There is a waiting list currently to get in that organization, so it's something that we could look at in the future and build from where we're at. But our first season realistically would not be played. We would not play a game, maybe a scrimmage, but not an actual game of record against Roseville Junior Sports.
so you compete against all of these other football clubs that go all the way up into the upper part of the Upper Peninsula. They're everywhere. And so we would be a central youth program in a different league than what Roseville Junior Sports is currently in. And we do know right now, off the bat, that we have over 100 kids who would like to be in this program. So we have 100 kids already that would be on that field playing.
And
What's
that.
the cost to play?
So the cost to play, we're trying to get some better ideas to find ways to lower the cost. The initial cost is looking about, with us supplying all equipment, would be about $400 a player. We want to offer families ways to do things to get that back, such as selling 100 $1 raffle tickets. And if you sell the tickets, you put the money back in your pocket directly. You bring the tickets back to us, so that would bring $100 off of registration. There's other entities that are out there that help support and build kind of like a sports account program to help take prices off of the registration that we're looking at trying to get into. And we want it to be competitive and all-inclusive. Roseville Junior Sports, they break it down from flag, freshman, junior varsity, varsity. If you're playing varsity, it's $325 to register. Then you have to go out and buy your girdle, or you have to buy pads that can go into your pants. You have to buy your mouth guard. You have to buy your cleats. You also ended up, that wasn't included in the price, had to buy your pink out jersey. That was a $40 jersey. That jersey you got to keep, but you only wore it for 2 games. And you also have to pay $25 per player and parent that wants to attend a banquet at the end. We don't want little tiny costs brought up. We also want to bring a program to help encourage the parents to volunteer, where if you volunteer with us, you can get credit towards the cost of registration, where you can volunteer 5 times and get $100 back per player. So that there's many options to make it a lot more available to underprivileged youth. We want to make sure that no kid is left out for financial reasons, for single-parent home reasons, for any reason.
No child is going to be turned away. There's already money in that account. I said as that account's treasurer, and there's no child that's going to be turned away. Our ultimate goal is, how do we team up with the city of Fraser to bring these programs to Fraser? Fraser Schools is going to benefit in the terms of these kids are now going to start playing basketball in 3rd grade through 6th grade instead of waiting till 7th grade to touch a basketball. My kids grew up in this district. My kids were just at the end of when basketball stopped and they didn't get it. But my kids played soccer here on this field where there literally used to be 450 kids playing soccer, and now it sits empty. There used to be 3 huge baseball stadiums here that were booming 4 nights a week with lights and a scoreboard, and it's gone. It's so sad to us. So our opportunity is to bring our investors, to bring our nonprofit, to do work for kids, to reinvest that money within this community with whatever comes from that. That is our ultimate goal. And so we were working with the Parks and Rec director on a finalized deal, and we thought that we were to this point tonight, and so we are not. So now we are begging of your mercy, and we will get you whatever you need from us to understand. The benefit to the unit across the street, not to keep you here all night, is that will be a safe place. There's 3 Mac computers so kids can come and do their homework. There'll be 3 different type of gaming stations. There's going to be some video game stations. There's going to be a certified area where teachers will work with kids who are having issues. That'll be 2 days a week, unless it needs to be more, which it's sounding like it does. They're not doing any type of tutoring at the elementary level at this point, which concerns me, especially coming out of COVID. So we'll have that, and then there also will be a recording studio within that area, which has all state-of-the-art equipment. So these kids are so tech-savvy with all of these things that we're doing.
We'll also have mentoring services
mentoring, yeah.
for children that need that. We'll have male, female personnel that will be there to help if it's not an educational need.
And we do have 2 state-certified child trauma psychologists who we've been working with. They've worked with 2 of our mentored kids, and it has brought a world of difference and brought free of cost to both their parents versus $150 an hour for the first session and $75 for each additional, which they couldn't afford. We have paid for that out of our nonprofit. So what we're just trying to redo is build this community back where it is. You have thousands of kids at an elementary level that are not playing in your parks. They are going outside of this city. We need to bring them back. And
So
this
you
is an
said
opportunity.
400, right? A person?
Tentatively, the price right now would be about $400 per kid.
Okay,
That's,
Getting including cleats and
yeah, that's
uniform.
cleats,
and
uniforms.
It's everything.
okay.
So our ultimate goal is, how do we partner with you to get the field time and to get use of the concession stand, which we know that we would end up needing to be billed for a water bill and that sort of stuff. We don't expect that free, but we'd have to come to some sort of agreement. But understanding that we will be funneling money back into your Parks and Rec program. So whatever that would look like, it would be definitely come by check. Everything is up to par. Your board and your director will be given a monthly bank statement, just like our board, and our meetings are always open to everyone. And that'll have everything on there so that you are aware of what's going on. So it's not like we're walking in and wanting to take over your city. We just want to bring kids that are already here, who live in this city, who are going elsewhere. We want to bring them back without putting a cost on you. But the field is a big cost for you. That's what it is. Are you willing to give up a piece of grass that no one's on?
I am.
I am. We can't make that decision. We're just,
I'm just trying to figure out about advancing Macomb.
So, obviously, one thing about this proposal is that they're looking for you to make a recommendation. Recreation Commission obviously is a recommending body. This would be recommended by you to council. Council ultimately would make the decision. It sounds like what they want to do is have exclusive use for whatever particular times that would be worked on through a contract, and also use of that concession building for their incidental use, and likely that would be part of the contract terms as well, about, what kind of fee or payment, or if it's just paying for whatever electricity, water they might use for the property. You certainly make a good point about advancing Macomb. We are in the second year of the relationship
Yes.
with them, and we pay, I believe it's about 10 or 20,000,
Well, I was gonna say, last time
that partnership.
we gave them $11,000 and they didn't do anything.
So they did extend the terms for another 6 months because they were still in a process of getting their organization kind of off the ground.
They've been around for a while. I know.
And wasn't the contract just a one-year?
It was only a 1 year.
yeah, I thought it was only
So-
one-year
And
contract.
if it got extended, wouldn't it be?
So I would anticipate they would be coming back during our budget season, so probably sometime around January, February, I would think we'd be hearing from.
Could you guys get the money back or something? They haven't done anything.
And if you gave them more money on top of this, I say you need to put a stop to that and get rid of them altogether, because they have not done very much for our city, and the money that we're putting out for them is just not,
It's not good at all.
yeah.
Shouldn't, I mean, it doesn't affect this, though.
No.
I mean, I know these are good concerns, but that shouldn't affect,
So do you have any questions for us as an organization? Everything is up and above. This is a business owner who owns a business. He owns a moving company, moves people all over the world. If you know anything about business, you have to get rid of so much money, so that money gets dispersed to many nonprofits. It doesn't just get dispensed to his Juggernaut's profit. He gives money to the church. He does a lot of philanthropical work. The guy is amazing.
I do remember him talking about this previously, the Fraser Wildcats, but I didn't realize it was Juggernauts.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you guys joined forces with them, didn't you? Is that, because I remember Wildcats was one thing, and I remember this guy was another thing, and then you guys
He-
the other.
So Rob is his name. He created both.
Okay,
And then they've kind of merged as his outlook of what he wants both organizations to be. And since they're both kid-related, bringing it back together and trying to build up and make both together to build off of each other is why they're together now.
I really like this idea. I think anything that we can get little kids to come back into our city. I just don't know what we have to do. Like, are we making a recommendation to bring in front of council to enter into a partnership, or what exactly would I have to?
Pretty much.
I think it's great because we don't have to hire anybody to run this stuff. They're gonna run it all.
But
They're
we're
gonna
going to
make,
be reporting to you
Yes.
everything. These are our coaches. This is their information. Here's their background check. We're not hiding anything from you. Everything is going to be above water. I can promise you that.
I mean, I'd like to make a recommendation to have them go to council to bring their vision and present it to them so that they can decide if this is something they want to do with that piece of property that's not being used at all.
So wouldn't that be, at this point, wouldn't it be more of a recommendation for us? Like we say, we make a recommendation for city council to, I mean, for the recreation to go into a partnership with them. And if the council really wanted them to come and present something to them.
They're gonna
that would
wanna meet
be-
us.
I think
right,
they
that would
should
be
meet them.
theirs.
That's fine.
So I'd prefer to make a motion to just, we, as a collective group, we can decide that we can recommend to go into a partnership, and then this council can just be like, well, I mean, I kind of agree with it, but let's see them anyways, you know? So at least by us making a recommendation to council, it's on their radar, so it can be after them, so. Anyone want to make a recommendation?
I thought you just did. I want to make a recommendation that Fraser Parks, or Fraser Recreation builds a partnership with
Juggernauts Kids Foundation.
Juggernauts Kids Foundation. I have to add more?
Nope,
Nope.
Okay.
need a second.
Do we second that? I'll second
Yeah.
that.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Cook to have Parks and Recreation enter into a partnership with Juggernauts Kid Foundation, seconded by Commissioner Hunt. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
No, but I'd like to see your
Motion
information,
carries.
though. I'd like to get what you just turned into her.
Yes, I'll see if my boss here will help me come up.
Thank you guys so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. I didn't,
Thank you for your time.
I did not know that you guys, there's a new spot on Garfield either, so.
Yes,
Yes,
do all of
you know
that.
The old arts barber shop that was for a million years?
Yeah.
It is being completely renovated, so we saved all the kids' photos that were on the wall still that Art's son left when he closed the shop. We saved those, we're gonna specialty frame those, but we're bringing in 5 new people. So there'll be 5 people that'll be cutting there. It's gonna be really cool.
Awesome.
And they also have Age Odd, the Age Odd store.
Thank you so
right?
much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Item number 10, citizen participation. I got a whole bunch of citizens out here. I better see some participation. I got citizens here, you're all saying something.
Dana Sutherland, 31520 Schoolcraft.
Hello.
Hi. I was just going to say, as a normal resident, that if you are going to be sending Juggernauts to council to request a specific agenda that you would like it included on, so December, January, as well as in advance of that agenda item, have any contracts, insurance that needs to be verified, anything else that should be reviewed ahead of time by council as well as the city attorney. Have all of that tied up in a nice little bow before it's even added to the agenda. Otherwise, what could possibly happen is you'll have a lot of council members that will be asking about the terms of the arrangement as well as liabilities, because we know we live in a very litigious society and we want to make sure all those things are covered.
Excellent. I will refer that to the city manager.
I was gonna say, I think she got
Yes,
a little
because
packet from them that we have not seen.
Probably be a good idea for anything that we've already received to go to Don Denal and for him to have an opportunity to ask questions and get those answered prior to it going on the agenda as well. That's all.
Thank you, citizen. Looking at you. Look. I know she has something.
I'll do. Look at this.
Stars lady.
Laura Lessig, 15201 Fairview. To piggyback off of resident Sutherland's comments, I think also before this agreement, well, you can agree to agree, but what is the vision for this Steffens Park? Maybe someone else has an idea of what to do with that piece of land versus resurfacing it with turf and everything. Maybe someone else wants to put in a band stage, whatever. So I think a vision for that entire park has to be brought up so that it can all be inclusive. I love this idea. I think it's a great way to bring our our park back to life. But I'd like to see the whole vision for that park and not just piecemealing it with one thing at a time. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more citizens? Step right up, please. Hello, citizen.
Hello, Vanya Apps, 31641 York Street. I just wanted to mention something that I forgot to mention during our moment with Fraser First here. The one thing that Fraser First, in our work with McKinley, constructing McKinley Barrier-Free Park, we have met multiple organizations, groups, families, academies, things like that. And we were fortunate to have Claire Blakeman from Moms of South Macomb, and she reached out to us and wanted to do a fundraiser for McKinley Barrier-Free Park. And so they raised, they worked with Wine and Whimsy and created a Christmas ornament, and that ornament sold for $15. $5 of that went towards their goal of something to put in McKinley Barrier-Free Park. And they chose a bike rack, which we were in need of. So Moms of Macomb and Fraser First Booster Club will match. They, like I said, they raised $250, so that should get us at least one bike rack for sure. So I just wanted to give some attention to the fact that there are organizations that use McKinley Barrier-Free Park, and it inspires them to want to put their stamp on it somewhere. So this was one of those organizations that we're really happy to have been able to meet up with and match their donation. So that's all.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, moving on. Item number 11, commission members with concerns. I'm going to start this side today. Commissioner Rice.
Just as juggernauts, I just don't want to send money again and nothing gets done. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. They're talking a good game, but are they really going to do what they said they're going to do?
It doesn't sound like
But,
they're asking.
yeah, they're
us
not
for
asking
money.
us
Oh, I
for
know
money,
that,
so-
but still.
I mean, we're throwing money away to advancing Macomb and getting nothing.
Yeah, I know, but
Listen, we have to try something new at this point
yeah.
because everything else we've
I-
been doing is not working.
You're saying it's good
No,
stuff, but
you are having, these are very good thoughts that you're having because I get it. I mean, especially being burned with advancing Macomb before. I get it. I understand it. So,
but $400 is a lot to ask when you're getting sports just going again for
But-
families.
right, I know. And, you know, she did make a good point though, like Roseville Junior Sports. I don't do Roseville Junior Sports because it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
With all those extra things that you have to pay for, like, it's not just that upfront cost that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
paying. You're paying,
For everything, I
Right.
know, but that's
I know.
still a lot. $400
I get it.
is a lot.
They were
I
gonna
get
get
it.
the opportunity to
Raise money for it.
raise money for it.
Yeah,
and
sell
or
tickets
work it
or-
off in
yeah.
volunteerism,
Okay.
which sounds like whoever their big backer is.
Do they have all the people? Like, do we know that? Like,
have you?
I heard a lot.
Have you
I know,
looked?
I'm just saying. maybe
Have
it's-
you?
talk to a couple people. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I know, that's why I was like,
that's why I had questions.
yeah.
I mean, even just to
Get
get
it.
basketball into the schools would
But
be
are they
a
going to allow
huge.
that? Because I talked to Dan Waters and everybody.
I know they're having a little bit of difficulties with that because I've talked to a couple guys from there because they've kind of messaged me about things and where to go and who to ask and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a win-win for the schools.
Yeah, that's true.
You bring up some very good points and
That's true.
concerns.
I just,
And these are all something that we're gonna be on alert about.
yeah.
To have to. We're gonna
Other
circle
than
back
that,
to this next
other
month.
than that, nothing.
We'll think about it.
Oh, I will. I definitely will.
Awesome, thank you. Commissioner Walker. Any concerns?
Oh, man, I'm with Bryce here.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's like, it's good, but you always wonder what's the catch and what happened, because Martez was talking to Coach Tucker.
Yeah.
We all, well, us three were.
Martez was talking to like 4 or 5
Yeah.
people, sports wise.
He could get
I know of.
sports going. He's,
Yeah.
ready and willing. What? Coach Tucker is the wrestling coach for Fraser Wrestling Club. He has come to our meetings and he has been in contact with me, Mr. Rice, and Martez. So, yeah, no, because he does football.
Yeah,
And
wrestling.
other, different sports. And he was trying to help get it back into Parks and Rec. And then we hear about the Wildcats. And then I was just a little thrown off. So that's why.
Because he pretty much didn't tell us about Juggernauts, Martez.
We heard about the Wildcats last summer,
did-
'cause
Yeah, he talked
that
about
was-
Wildcats once.
Wildcats.
that was one of the trunk or treats that he was talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was focused on the mental matter. That the city-
You were focused on it. But yes, that was one of the ones. But we
Okay,
did-
okay.
There was, he didn't have a foundation, he didn't say a foundation.
Okay,
I only knew the foundation because of Coach Tucker.
okay.
told me.
Yeah, he told me about it.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Hunt?
Okay, well, it's not about juggernauts, it's more about this whole pickleball business. So, there are a lot of people out there that. Pickleball. There are a lot of people out there that really want to play pickleball. Well, because anybody under 55 can't get into the senior center, and if they are 55, they're still probably working. We put together this Sunday program, and we get anywhere between usually about 10 people. So we have some people sitting out, which is good because then you get a little break. It's getting cold now. So I had talked to Martez about, is there a way that we could have it open, the senior center, on Sunday, just 2 hours? And he said he was going to talk to whoever holds the keys. I said, I will be responsible. I'll be there, every Sunday, just from 9 to 11. So anybody that wants to come play, I would take the responsibility for that. And then, So we would like to know if there's a way that we could get the senior center open for people over 55 on the weekend for a little bit.
Would this be a, paid program? Because I know with pickleball that they have right now, drop in, you have to pay. So.
If you would like me to collect $1 or $2 off of players, I'm sure they would be willing to pay it.
I don't know if it's something that we could have a volunteer man, so we would have to pay to have somebody there on the weekend. I can check with the attorney and find out what the particular ramifications would be
Okay.
and if it would be allowed.
And if it was one of the commissioners that was doing the volunteering to be there to play.
Kind of paid, right? You're kind of an employee in a way.
Yeah, we get a little paycheck.
Right. So I'll check with him.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right.
But, I mean, obviously, there need to be a responsible person that would be there and.
Right, because it's not like, 8 hours on a Sunday, it's just, just for that little
Couple hours.
couple hours. Because, it's getting cold out there and people want to play and they're just not understanding why we can't get into the senior center.
Especially
So,
when they work during the day, and there's
Right.
nothing in the evening, which Martez was supposed to
Right,
try to get some evening things for people, so.
yeah. I did have a
And a lot of it comes down to staffing and money.
Yes.
So,
Right.
You gotta have people that are gonna be able to open the buildings. And,
Right.
And people that have been trained on cash handling and responsibility for the money coming in, the money coming
Yeah.
out. They need to be properly trained on that. So I can check with the attorney and see
Yeah.
if a volunteer or someone that is a recreation commissioner can manage that.
Okay, and I do have a concern, I've never met her, but I have heard that there's a very elderly woman who runs the programs over there, or she's the one that handles the money and,
So we have a retiree that is the person that works at the Senior Activity Center. She is there Mondays through Thursdays from 8 to
Okay.
1. And she really, originally, her job was just van transportation. So she would answer the phone, coordinate. This was all pre-COVID. After COVID, stepping in, she wanted to come back to work. She wanted to get things going again at the Senior Activity Center. She has really stepped up and pretty much push forward all of like this programming that they used to have. So going to all of their events, coordinating sports, getting the chair yoga going, getting the bingo going. She takes care of really every aspect of activities over at the Senior Activity Center. She's gone above and beyond, and now I understand that she does have a volunteer that's helping with some of the stuff over there. The big problem is now Martez was doing Fridays, so we can't have her working every single day of the week because she has doctor's appointments that she needs to go to. Generally, Fridays were her day off. She's going to be working at least this Friday, and we're going to have to try and find someone to help fill that gap because she can't do it every day. So it's a big job, and she has really stepped up and done a phenomenal job with just really.
Okay, that's good to hear, because I was a little concerned when I talked to Martez at the firemen's open house about something, and because I had come up with an idea for something that would be, a fun idea that we could do at the senior center if we had the older people, or, over 55, or even in the,
Dispatch room.
Dispatch room. And he said, he talked to, I'm sorry, I don't know her name, and she said she wasn't willing to do that. And I'm like, well, doesn't she kind of report to you?
Not really.
So she gets to, do whatever programming she wants over there.
They were more like a peer level type group. So keep in mind, Martez was never a recreation director. All he was a recreation coordinator, and really he was doing the non-senior things, and Diane was doing the senior things and the senior van transport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and at one point in time, they all reported to Sarah, who was the assistant city manager. When she left, it all defaulted to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but she only works 8 to 1. She's not looking to get any more hours or anything. I think she's probably already really stretched to her limit with those hours.
All right. Okay, well, so that was the indoor. Now, as far as the outdoor pickleball goes, we've talked about the resurfacing that needs to be done, and the restriping. I guess it was done like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah, so about, I would say, 3 or 4 months ago, City Council really kind of started looking at some of the capital improvement planning for park recreation type stuff. I don't really know where they are with that, especially now that we have, I think, 3 new board members coming on, so it'll certainly be something that's going to be picked back up when we start getting into the budget process.
Okay.
Which will be starting in January. And with that, that's something that is a pretty high-cost item, but taking a look at it, I know that there are some issues that really need to be fixed. So whether it's something where they're going to do a little crack filling and paint some new lines, or if it's going to be a complete overhaul, I really can't say at this point in time.
Okay. All right, well, I would like to, in whoever's, going to be looking into all that, there's something, it's Douglas Sports Equipment, and it's a portable, but they actually stake it down, pickleball net, and you can turn one tennis court into 2 pickleball courts. So I was going to ask if maybe that could be looked into. I was going to ask Martez, but, you don't want to deal with that, but maybe if we could put that in the thought.
So I'll likely be working with the DPW superintendent
Okay.
when we're working on this budget, because that really kind of falls under his budget with buildings and grounds. So I'll make sure and mention it to him and have him look into it.
Okay. All right. But it's Douglas Sports Equipment.
Got it written down.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Commissioner Cook? Okay, couple things. So you said the senior center is only open Monday through Thursday right now.
No, Monday through Friday still. It's just this week Diane's going to be taking over for Friday. Next week we're obviously closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. I think she said maybe that week after she's going to be able to do the Friday as well. So we just have to find the time to come up with kind of a long-term plan and who's going to be able to fill in on those Fridays.
Okay.
Are we going to hire another part-time person? Are we going to be able to kind of backfill with someone in my office maybe to help keep those offices open until we can hire someone? So I would certainly hope that we can get some great applicants for the position and hire someone and have them in place within a couple of months.
Okay, next question I have is posted on the recreation page, is that November 19th, which is this Saturday, we were having an animal, or Sunday, okay, we're having an animal adoption thing up at the park. Is that still going on?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah.
And who's running it, and who's showing up, and who's,
So I guess I will be there. So I think from what Martez told me, it sounds like it is one person from animal control that is coming with one dog and a board of animals to adopt. I don't know why they're only bringing one animal, and I guess he was only able to get just the Macomb Animal Control, and that's it.
okay. Other thing, let's go back to volunteers that we need for the Christmas in Fraser. I know Fraser First said they needed 3. I know they said they needed for Santa 4. How many more other volunteers would you like so I can send Monica an email tonight and let her know how many kids to bring?
I don't know normally what has been used.
Like I said, last year we had 23.
Okay.
It was a bit much because, well, they did great. I mean, but
And we had all the people in the room with Santa.
yes. And then we had a
little
craft and
clustered.
yeah, it was a little too many because of the small room. But like I said, we're gonna need some people maybe passing out the s'mores. And we're gonna need, I don't know if you need anybody by the penny farm or, I mean, just give me roughly a number. You want 15, 20?
I'd say 7 more at least.
So
That's
to-
including all the ones we need to.
So a total of 14.
Including, yeah.
I would just round up to 20 in case
Yep.
Okay, I will.
Great.
Okay, she'll be happy to hear that because like I said, yes, I had no problem finding things for them to do last year, but I kind of gave them all jobs and they did well. Yeah,
I don't mind.
they did well. They worked really well. The kids were very well behaved and knew that they were here to do a job and that was good. So I will tell her 20 people.
Cool.
Next question is, I want to thank the DPW for putting up the Christmas stuff because I think this is
That
the
looks
most we've
nice.
ever had
Looks good.
since COVID. Next question is, what budget did that come out of? Like all the decorations and stuff, because they're all brand new, because I seen all the boxes when we came to vote on Tuesday. There was tons of boxes out there, so,
I think it's supplies out of buildings and grounds. It's not recreation.
no, I didn't know, I didn't think it was recreation. I just wanted to know, like, who paid for all of this beautiful stuff out there? And it's amazing that we could never get, DPW could never have enough people to volunteer to work on other events besides picking up leaves and fixing water main breaks and stuff like that. It was great to see them out there on Tuesday, putting up and putting together and stringing lights and all of that. It was nice to see that. And that's it. That's all I have.
Okay. And then for me, I actually don't have any questions, but I'm going to let her, oh, well, hello. Okay. Sure. No, go ahead.
Dana Sutherland, still a resident, 31520 Schoolcraft. So I was just thinking about the whole Juggernauts thing and how we can't use the senior center, right, because of the grant that we got for that. I'm just saying, if they have funding and donors and all of these wonderful things and they're looking for gym space for basketball, maybe they would be also willing to partner with us and try to think up a way to get us to be able to use our building back if they have that kind of income. Right? Because if that's what we need money to get out of that situation, to be able to use that building for everyone. That would also be another win-win for the city. If they're willing to put in an AstroTurf field, maybe that's something they'd be looking into investing into that building for the city as well, so that we can use that space and everyone can use it.
And you can use it for parties again, and you can use it to rent out for birthdays and stuff like that, or showers, or.
That's all. Thank you.
So that grant that we got for that, I was told,
CDBG.
okay. I was told that if it was used for anybody under 55, that then the city would have to pay that back.
Correct.
Doesn't it depreciate? Like for as long as
It should.
It's just like a set amount, I think, and then
like it'll never get paid off then?
So I've heard numbers between 800,000 and 2.5 million of what we've gotten grants.
About $1 million.
And I actually had a conversation with someone earlier this week about that, and that everything depreciates, buildings depreciate.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the building is officially all appreciated or depreciated, does that mean that either we would have less to have to pay back to the federal government to get out from under that stipulation?
That's what I would
Or-
think.
Or maybe even nothing, but I doubt it, so
here somewhere.
I do too.
that's something.
I mean, because isn't that building at least 20 years old?
More than. Way
So
more.
I fortunately have had a really good working relationship with some of the people in Gary Peters' office, and that's something that I'll be reaching out to them to try and find out what are our options here, because, yeah, that building is underutilized, and if, say, we were able to have something like seniors during the day and open to-
Recreation at night.
Recreation
else
and
at
family
night.
stuff in the evening.
I mean, we used to, when I was in high school, we used to have dances at the senior center.
Well, and one thing, I don't know if any of you have been following any of the stuff in the news, but AstroTurf, a lot of the professional, like football players and school footballs are getting rid of AstroTurf because they're finding that there are potential health impacts from the materials. So that would definitely be something to consider, and I would think that council would probably be asking some questions about that.
I'm sure they will. All right. Thank you, Dana. I don't have any concerns, but I'm letting everyone know that I will not be at the December meeting. My son is getting his open heart surgery in December, so I am going to be focusing on my family and unfortunately not the recreation. So, but I will be back in January, so with everything, hopefully everything goes good. So, that is it. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, we have one more question real quick.
Oh, shoot.
About our two new rec commission people, do we know, I know one you said couldn't be here tonight. Did we hear about the other one? Did she know that she was supposed to be here tonight?
I left 2 messages asking you to let me know if she was coming because I would come in to swear her in. I never heard back from her. I just jumped in thinking maybe she might come up. Try until we reach her, and we know for sure.
So can they come during your normal business hours and get sworn in? Excellent, okay.
Yeah, all you have to do is call us and either Cindy or I, either one of us.
All right.
We've done a lot of swearing-ins in the lobby.
Okay, perfect. All right,
Hopefully we can get 7 people up here again
it'd be nice.
someday soon.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:34.
Can you do that? I thought we could.
Oh, you're right, I can't do these things.
I'd like to make a motion
Whatever you
that we
guys wanna
adjourn
do.
the meeting at 8:35.
I second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Hunt, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned, 8:34.
Where does that rule come from that the chair can't make a motion?
I don't know.
I've never-
I don't know, we
never
do that at
really,
work too. The president can't ever make a motion.
I've never heard that before, and